And welcome back to Farm Sim 25. On Backroads County for this playthrough. 4X. So what I've done is I started out with the same amount of funds that you get if you do the starter farm. You would get the starter farm and these 3 fields plus the equipment. I went in there and just pulled up this. So I gave myself that amount of money to start with. Got myself my 379 with the low boy so we could transport that a lot easier. The JLG fast track, big horsepower. The only things, actually, we're going to change one thing. So this is unrealistic. And that is unrealistic. That carries a 100,000 line. That carries 5 million capacity. So what my game plan is, I cut all of this grass, of course, to make it easier when we're doing the stuff with the trees. Bought this grass area and this area here. What we're going to do is a lot of forestry work, eventually have cattle. So on and so forth. We've got pretty good amount of grass right now. Almost 1.5 million liters. One thing I did find was I had to smooth out this field. It was throwing my tractors and stuff all over the place because it was so rough. So I smoothed all of this out. And we're just going to go and cut out, leaving a little bit of a tree line. Eventually buying these also. This is a bad hillside. We're not going to mess with that, but this is flat ground. This area, we'll get this grass area. Also, like I said, we will be having cattle, probably dairy, primarily dairy, some sheep. What I'm thinking is the livestock and stuff in this area, and then livestock through here. Once we get this stuff done, we'll probably extend this grass area if we don't buy this one first. I thought I had a mod where I was able to sleep in my semi truck, but it's not letting me. So evidently I got rid of that because I think the reason I did is I would sleep, actually not when I slept, more often than not when I got logged back in, I would log in the truck, or I was waking up in the truck, something like that, if the tractor was parked in okay, it's not that one. When I have this shop and the truck and trailer was parked inside this bay, I would wake up in the truck. If I had dropped my trailers and was parked in like this shop, I would go to sleep in the house, but I'd wake up in the truck. So I think that's the reason I took that mod off. Um, one of the things I'm contemplating is putting our house in. Now, we have the cash for it, and this is the one I want to use. Or I should say, was the one I was thinking about using. But I've been using this for a lot of different maps recently. So that's making me think, let's not go that route this time. And I'm thinking about running one of these houses with it's a walk-in house. I don't like the ones where you have the triggers on the outside. So I was thinking about putting this guy in like right here with a circular drive. The only thing I'm thinking, the reason I was thinking not to do that is I'm looking at putting two buildings here. This one and this one. And that, I believe, will do a lot of our buildings. But the downfall is I really like this one. I might use this for the garage, actually. So we can probably get most of the stuff parked in here. But it's not going to fit our truck. I like this one because of its really good shop bay. You can wash all of our equipment in that. Park a lot of equipment on this side. Some other equipment there. So what we might do instead, no, that's not what we're going to use. Let's see if I can find this thing. I know I've got a building I've used in a different playthrough. Now, the downfall to this one is it could fit a lot of our stuff in here, but eventually we are going to have a grain trailer, and thinking about doing a double on that. How much more is the solar panels? 90,000. Okay. That's not going to work. Here's the one I'm thinking about. As you can see, our trucks easily fit in that. And then you've got some side storage with a bunch of other implement storages right here. I'm thinking about going this route. Yeah, I'm really thinking we're going to put this guy in. Actually, let's put this in this area. That's 80. What was the solar? Doesn't charge us for solar. That will get most of our equipment parked. We'll have an extra line for the grain trailer when we eventually get one of those. So yeah, we could put this guy in for our vehicle storage. And that right there is good. Because most of this stuff will be able to back into here. Yeah, we're going to run that with... I like the walkthroughs with the walk-ins with the garages. The problem is that pickup doesn't really fit in the garages. The same thing goes with the small barn dominium. You know what I haven't used in a little while? Is this. I haven't used one of these for a little while. How much is the solar for this? No charge solar. No charge on the paint. I think we will end up going with this for the house. That works for me. Another thing we're going to want is a couple of different other production chains for that grass. Oh, speaking of, we will be running this fermentation. The only silage we will use through here is grass, hay, or chaff. We will use it to hold straw for our cattle. And then we will also use this to process grass into hay. So we will use both of those. Um, and this will only process, actually, we could put this in now. Yeah, that looks good. We will do this here. Um, so to do that, let's go ahead and grab the JLG. So we will go ahead and dump this in. Just for the storage for now. Oh, let's make this easy. Okay, so we are not going to use this, which is making digestate out of slurry, which allows us to do a whole lot of other things. That's not something we're going to do. What we are going to do is use it to process the into hay. If we get tight in funds, we will sell that hay. But that will eventually empty that out and it'll be stored. Let's get this guy. Move him over here for now. So we'll be able to get rid of the stumps and be able to drag some of these logs. So turn it on. Our cut length's at 15 meters. Hold the O. It's been a while since I've done this. And then it is X again. So, bam. So here's what I'm going to be doing. Oh. And then I want to... Okay, it's not going to let me do that. Oh, that's why it's not letting me go again. Oh, you're too thick, huh? Okay, so wait. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I want to try a couple things here. I am going to cheese it and do super strength on this. All right. We'll get this little log. I just don't want to mess with these little ones. Yeah, 70 kilograms. Yeah, we're not worried about that. So, what we do here, if I can remember exactly how to do it, eventually I am, eventually I will get, if I remember right, K comes in. Do, 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 do. Why? Okay, so while we're doing all of this, this is the wrong bloody mill. Oh, I'm not going to worry about it. Not going to worry about it. Oops. So, Okay, I can't do... Oh, wait. I can do that from in here. Not going to let me do that. Is that too much? All right, good enough. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing for quite a while now. Um, Now there is a couple things that I will probably do. Okay. So I am going to go because this is going to take a lot of time. We're going to go and I'm going to either speed it up or something. So what I was talking about on the sawmills is this sawmill has an output of sawdust. Of sawdust. And this one will use sawdust and lumber. It doesn't have it as a byproduct. Um, so I spent, I think, 300K. Yep, I did. I spent 300K on the wrong sawmill. Nice. We're going to go ahead and switch it out. I don't want to mess with that. So let's get that other sawmill in. And that's the problem. They look exactly alike. So it's basically the same thing. But that's fine. I'll get this thing loaded up. Gonna get a couple other trees out of here. Let's see. Any contracts? See, here's some of the stuff I was looking at. We're we're not going to do this. We don't have the equipment for it. I'm not leasing any equipment. $42. Okay. Don't know where 42 is. We don't have a stone picker. So we got several different contracts. Let's go ahead and do those. And then the final one is this. All right, so here's the disabled vehicle. We need to bring it up here. We can pick up the bill wrap, drop it off here, and then grab that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I don't remember how many, what kind of bales were these. We'll figure it out when we get there. So what we're going to do is load the vehicle first. There is a couple types of vehicles that break down that we can't load on this trailer by driving it up because they sit too low. It's the only downfall to that contract thing. You don't have any idea what that vehicle is until you accept the contract. When it's something like that, I just use super strength, pick it up and put it on the trailer. Because usually I don't have a low boy. Nowadays, though, since I have a low boy, I could just load it up on the low boy. These vehicles, broke down vehicles, are work enough to be able to go up these ramps. This might be interesting. Nah, we'll be okay. And these are, I think it's called the Special Contracts mod. I don't remember for sure. I think it is. Now what I'm hoping is, since this is a 4X map, I think it decides that the pay on contracts by the distance having to travel. Even though this bale wrap's got to go a pretty good distance. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is do these contracts, load up the lumber mill, and call it a day. But after I get these 3 contracts done, we'll just go ahead and call it a video. And I'll harvest a whole bunch of trees off camera. Sometimes that will trigger it, and you can just complete the quest to get it unloaded. And these types of contracts, I just do a drive-by. Now, I do like these 4K maps. One of the issues I found with this particular one is I don't think it's not a really big issue for most people, but when I'm doing primarily farming, running grains and stuff, I want uh, I want the um, to plow and be able to get field stones. Because that gives you lime with that farm production building. And when you plow these fields, you don't get stone, even though we have a contract for stone picking. So this isn't going to be good. This is going to be multiple trips. I think this is going to be 2, maybe 3 trips. The counters won't trigger until I stop and the bales are secured. If I remember right, I think I get 3 stacks on this trailer. I don't think I can get 4. Oh, we're going to have to come back for 2. So what I'll be doing off cam is harvesting a bunch of lumber. Anytime bale collections that pay decent or delivery breakdown kind of contracts pop up that pay enough for me to stop, we'll do that. I'd really like I want to get that house slash shop in before I call it for the month. One of the places I really like to set up on this map is right up ahead of us. I'm going to drive us through that. Contract finished. Boom. Nice. That's not enough for me to mess with. We won't do this. Hopefully we don't get another one of those, because you have to supply the crop. But let's go and show you the place I like to set up also. And the reason I like this is I like these kinds of hidden kind of locations you can put your farm. This is not visible from anywhere else, but you've got all this area to set your farm up. So you've got all of this. I usually go with these two fields, and that's what I start with. The other one I really like is this one, because yet again, it's not visible from the roadway. Here, we're going to be visible from the roadway. I've contemplated putting the house actually back into here a little bit so it's not super visible from the roadway. I might end up doing that. But that's where we're going to end it. Have a good night, and I'll catch you all the next time.